Chapter 7, Patience Within. Master Shaman said, Muku, this isn't over. Not by a long shot. We'll be back and better than ever. And that's when Master Shaman was about to take Twinkle when Maya tried to use her Rutchit powers on him. But then Rico blocked it with his saber. Rico said, Maya, why are you doing this? You had everything and you threw it away by working with Ricardo. Maya said, you Rutchitties killed my brother, and I will not rest until every one of you is dead. Master Shaman said, listen to yourself. This isn't what the Rutchit would want you to do to them. Maya said, you've been warned, Rutchit. That's when Muku got a transmission from Ricardo. Ricardo said, what's the holdup? Muku said, we're tied up in a battle of the fighters to see which brother is the... Ricardo said, you are an ignoramus. Maya said, we're so close. We have the Rutchitties in the bottom of our hand. Even Twinkle is injured. Ricardo said, no excuses, Maya. You and Muku should have been back by now. Muku couldn't believe that Ricardo wanted him and Maya to go back to his lair and re-strategize. Muku said, this isn't over, brother. Master Shaman said, oh yes it is. Rico, come. Rico said, let me face him. Master Shaman said, move it, Rico. Rico said, fine, we'll be back to face you yet. Maya, you're making a big mistake. Gorge said, 3, 2. Rico said, okay, chill. Back to Rutchit and the others. As they reached Striker's castle, they knocked on the door and there was no answer. Sydney said, this is one big... And then Sydney ended up being sucked into a transportation tube. Rutchit said, what is the meaning of this? You give us back our friend right now. Striker said, oh, I'm sorry about that. Your friend was standing over the transportation tube and it sucked her right in. My bad there, Rutchit. Rutchit said, well, your bad might be your undoing. Striker said, you shouldn't threaten me unless you don't want to see your friend. Rutchit said, what do you mean by that? Striker said, you don't want your friend to die, do you? Sydney talked through the intercom. Sydney said, don't worry about me. I'll be fine, you guys. And Nicole said, hey, you. Who are you calling guys? Striker said, she can't hear you, but your friend looks like she will be fine. So don't worry your pretty little head about her, okay? Rutchit said, I hope you're right about that. That's when Striker took him around the corner to the nut factory, because Striker was a nut. Striker said, because of safety concerns, I don't want anybody going over this gate. Sasquatch said, look, squirrels. Maybe Striker's cousin is in the bunch. Rutchit looked at Sasquatch with disgust. Sasquatch said, oh, come on, because he has a squirrel trying to get a nut? And Nicole looked at Sasquatch with disgust as well. Striker said, if someone gets pushed over this gate, it is a problem in the long run. And Nicole said, it wouldn't be the first if Rutchit and Sasquatch fell in. Rutchit said, please, Striker, what if that happens? Striker said, 1, the squirrel will test it, see if you are edible to eat. If not, they'll throw you down the slide on a tube. Sasquatch said, oh, really? Striker said, no, Simba, they'll throw you down the slide and you'll head to the furnace. Sasquatch gulped on that one. Rutchit said, maybe someone should push him over the gate. That would be fun for us, right, Sasquatch? And Nicole smacked Rutchit in the arm for that. Rutchit said, I was joking, Anne. Sasquatch said, Anne, why would you do that? He was just messing around. And Nicole said, I had my reasons to do so. Rutchit said, man, she has a good right hook. Sasquatch said, you trained the best, Rutchit. Rutchit and Sasquatch laughed. Striker said, here's where my Mulan villagers make the best amazing soda ever created known to man, and it's made with the tears of the fallen warriors. Rutchit said, well, dude, that sounds so very interesting if you ask me. Striker said, it's not allowed to tourists like you. The last person that drank it died because his hiccups wouldn't go away. Then his head blew off. Rutchit said, maybe it shouldn't be allowed to douchebags like him, obviously. Maybe his head will fall off. That's when Sasquatch started to laugh. That's when Striker mistakenly thought he heard Sasquatch say something and opened the trap door on him, and Sasquatch fell through. Sasquatch said, what in the world? Rutchit said, what was that for? Did you think Sasquatch said that? Striker said, he must have tripped a button or something. Silly lion. That trap was for thieves. Rutchit said, no more tricks, fool. Striker said, no more tricks what? I want to hear it, Rutchit. Rutchit was getting more annoyed. And Nicole said, Rutchit, just say it. We would love to move on. So Rutchit looked at Striker. Rutchit said, okay, fine. No more tricks, please. Striker looked at Rutchit. Striker said, that wasn't hard, was it? But Rutchit didn't know what to say. And Nicole said, well, it wouldn't have took him long if he wasn't such a hothead. Rutchit said, really, Anne? I'm a hothead? And he's the one to talk about being that hard? Not as hard as his head. And Nicole said, let it slide, Rutchit. So Rutchit took her advice and calmed down. Stryker said, let's continue with the tour, shall we? Rutchit said, about time. It is great to see where the main area is in this place. Stryker said, pretty lady and gentlemen. Of course, at first, Rutchit thought that was thoughtful. Stryker said, if you can call yourself one. Rutchit said, at least we're continuing. And Nicole did a facepalm at that point. So Stryker showed them the wonders of his castle, starting with the lickable wall. Stryker said, no, I wouldn't lick that wall. The last person to do that had a weird aftertaste for a whole week, even when they were eating food. Rutchit said, maybe someone had the pig flu. When they licked it, it made it worse for anyone else to lick that wallpaper. And Nicole said, do you say anything besides sarcastic jokes about what might have happened? Rutchit said, no, I just think he ruins it for everyone by being a total buzzkill. Wouldn't you want to drink that soda or lick that wallpaper without any problems? And Nicole said, yeah, but not if he has problems with the flavors that he can't get things right. Rutchit said, you have a point, Anne. And Nicole said, exactly my point. Rutchit said, then when will he show us something we can do? And Nicole said, give him some time. He knows what he's doing. Stryker said, oh, you'll love this. There's a door to a wonderful world. A world where your imagination is intrigued and mesmerized. So then Stryker took them around the corner to a huge door, and inside this door was a huge, amazing candy world. And Nicole said, wow, this looks so amazing. I wish I could eat everything in this place, but it would make my stomach hurt doing so. Stryker said, well, I wouldn't eat everything as the dirt wouldn't look edible to a person's palate. Rutchit said, what in the wild world of make-believe is this? Stryker said, well, my visitor, in my castle there isn't any songs for your friends. Rutchit said, yeah, because you couldn't sing them without some legal team getting involved. That's when Anne Nicole gave a look of disgust to Rutchit. And Rutchit looked at her, not thinking about it as he didn't want to stress over it. Anne Nicole said, Stryker, I have a question for you. Stryker said, what, little girl? I ain't got all day. Time is wasting for no one. Rutchit said, can you please listen to her question? Stryker said, okay, since you said please, and she had a question to ask me. Go on, little girl, pick your poison, and not in that kind of way. And Nicole said, Stryker, this is an awful lot of candy for just two people to munch on. In fact, you basically trapped both of our friends while we don't know what to do with all this candy. Stryker said, what do you mean? You can eat it? You can play in it? You can even break it open and eat it like that? Rutchit said, I'm going to stop you there. You can play in it? That sounds a little dirty. Stryker said, little boy, don't interrupt me while telling this beautiful young lady what to do with all this candy. And Nicole said, what? You really think I'm beautiful? Stryker said, doesn't the Rutchit tell you that? Rutchit looked annoyed with Stryker and decided to walk away. And Nicole said, Rutchit, where are you going? We gotta enjoy this while we have the chance. Rutchit said, I'm going for a walk around this area to figure out what to do with all this candy. That's when Rutchit started to look around at all the candy while Stryker flirted with Anne Nicole. Anne Nicole said, you really think I'm beautiful? Stryker said, it depends on what you can give me in exchange. That's when Rutchit looked at all the candy, the lollipops, the gummy bears, the fruit-filled candies, the gumball tree, the hot chocolate river. Rutchit said, what is that waterfall? Stryker said, that you see is where the marshmallow-flavored chocolate goes down a fall and mixes the hot cocoa, so it makes it look amazing. Rutchit said, so wait, the hot cocoa is like lava? Stryker said, yeah, the last person tried to touch it, and it burned his hand to the point he fell in and met his death by hot cocoa. Rutchit thought, what do you play with and what not to play with? Rutchit said, these gummy bears, Stryker, can you play with them? Stryker said, it depends on what you mean, Rutchit. Rutchit said, like if I wanted to rip its head off and play with its gummy contents, would that be interesting to see? Right, Candy Maker? Stryker said, really? What sick mind do you have to say that, Rutchit? Rutchit said, well, I could pretend that this was you and enjoy ripping you apart. Stryker said, are you insane? Rutchit said, thought you used your imagination. And Nicole said, knock it off, Rutchit. Stryker said, are you done yet, Rutchit? Rutchit said, no, I'm getting started. Stryker said, you're scaring me, Rutchit. And Nicole said, enough. Rutchit said, what's wrong? And Nicole said, you don't know how to be mature. I'm going with Stryker, Rutchit. So enjoy playing with your decapitated gummy bear. Rutchit said, really? After all I've done for you by saving your life? Why would you take his side after what he did to Sydney and Sasquatch? And Nicole said, really? I would have done all of this on my own. And if you hadn't interfered with my quest, so Rutchit, go on your journey. And please, for once in your life, get a life. Stryker said, come on, beautiful. You're a winner in my book. Rutchit said, I don't need her. I don't need anyone. But that's when Rutchit realized what he'd done. Rutchit said, wait, Anne, I'm sorry. Please come back. Come back. So Rutchit started to cry, and he realized that he was all alone now. And it struck a nerve for Rutchit. His heart was totally broken for the first time in a while. Rutchit looked at the decapitated gummy bear and thought about what his life got to, and what it came to at this very point. Rutchit said, wow, am I really like this in real life? I really need help. Maybe I should just give up at this point. My friends are doomed. The Moulin looked at Rutchit while he cried. So Rutchit thought about it. Rutchit said, what do I do now? What can I do? My friends are gone. And my Rutchit student is gone. Ezekiel said, it's not too late for a change for the better, Rutchit. Rutchit said, who said that? Answer me. Ezekiel said, I did. And if you care for your friends, you wouldn't give up just like that and very easily. Rutchit said, what am I supposed to do about it? She's right. I'm nothing without my friends. Ezekiel said, there's hope. You gotta have faith. Rutchit said, what hope? I have no hope with what I've done just now. Face it, I'm nothing. Ezekiel climbed off the ledge, grabbed a chair, and climbed it. Then Ezekiel got ready and slapped Rutchit right in the face. Rutchit said, hey, what was that for? Ezekiel said, does it matter? It's in the past. Move forward. So Rutchit took the Muka's advice. Rutchit said, yeah, the past does hurt. Ezekiel said, then Rutchit, do me a favor. Go save your friends. Rutchit looked at Ezekiel and wanted to know his story. Rutchit said, wait, can you tell me why you're here? Then Ezekiel told Rutchit the story of what happened to him and his people. Ezekiel said, hi, my name is Ezekiel, and this is my story of me and my people being captured and forced by Stryker to make candy in his castle on Toxica. Where my people lived, it was on the planet of Mula. On Mula, we were peace-loving people that lived in harmony. We had a peace-loving king, and we didn't believe in war. We helped each other grow crops all year long, every single year, and helped harvest the crops every time for a single year, and we had food all around for many seasons. Rutchit said, wow. Ezekiel said, I even had a girlfriend named Emily, and she was so beautiful, and we were talking about having a family to call our own. Until a fateful night when that creep Stryker attacked my people, he captured our king. Then he had me and the other guys captured and brought on his ship. But for the woman, it was a different story. He killed them, every single one, including my beautiful girlfriend Emily in front of me. And then he brought the king here, where he made him walk a wheel to make sure the hot cocoa was churning just right. Rutchit said, really? Ezekiel said, while we had to pour marshmallow creamer in the hot cocoa, one of my friends fell in when he fainted from all the hard work and died. Rutchit said, drowning by hot cocoa. Ezekiel said, yes. Rutchit said, that monster. Ezekiel said, the king would be beaten every time he talked back to Stryker. The king one day asked him to give him some food, but Stryker refused. One day the king wasn't moving, and Stryker had to throw him in the furnace. Rutchit said, he died? Ezekiel said, yes, from starvation. Basically, I had enough, and I asked my friends to help in the fight against Stryker, but they refused. Rutchit said, why did they give up? Ezekiel said, now would you want to piss off Stryker? No, you wouldn't. Rutchit said, what about you? How did you live after all these years? Ezekiel said, I basically would sneak into the candy yard and grab some candy when I had a chance. Rutchit said, what happened? Did Stryker ever see you? Ezekiel said, no. But after a while, Stryker started to have the place guarded. Rutchit said, how can I help you and your friends out? Ezekiel said, here's my advice. You and your friends have more life to live than ours. When Stryker noticed our planet was dying, he decided to destroy it with a laser. Rutchit said, so the stories were true about the planet of Mula. Ezekiel said, but the other Rajettis need your help. So go and help your friends before it's too late. I've had my chance, but I'm too old to be living with this war going on. I'd rather die. But save your friends, Rutchetti, and good luck. Rutchit said, what about the girl? She is my Rajetti student. I feel like I failed her. Ezekiel said, she will make the right decision in the end. Just give her some time to think. Besides, Stryker is a master instigator. He won't get away with what he's doing if you can save your people from certain doom. Besides, she'll catch on fast, who is complete and utter shish kebab. Rutchit said, you're right. Thanks, Ezekiel. Then Ezekiel looked at Rutchit. Ezekiel said, good luck, Rajetti. You're going to need it. So Stryker started to show Anne Nicole his whole castle. Stryker said, Anne, this is where we make the most delicious marshmallow sauce for ice cream sundaes, and the most delicious dark chocolate sauce you can add to it. Anne Nicole said, okay, graham cracker flavored syrup. Stryker said, that's if you want to add all three to make your sundae into a s'more-style sundae. Anne Nicole said, that's so amazing, and it's genius. Stryker said, yeah, it is. And in this room, we make our job workers where they not only last a long time, but you get to taste the rainbow of flavors too. Anne Nicole said, they're fruity jaw teasers? Stryker said, pretty much, darling. Anne Nicole loved the compliments, but Rutchit was listening on from a distance as Stryker was flirting away. Anne Nicole said, are you seeing someone? Stryker said, oh, darling, sorry if you got the wrong impression, but I'm a dedicated Rajetti warrior who doesn't have time to be in a relationship. Rutchit said, wow, so douchebags still exist in this universe. Anne Nicole said, what are you doing here? Don't you have a journey to be on? That's when Rutchit looked at Anne Nicole while she blinked at him. That's when Rutchit realized that she had a plan to fool Stryker the entire time. Rutchit said, so, you call yourself a Rajetti warrior, then why would you capture innocent people? Stryker said, well, there isn't anything innocent about you Rajettis. Anne Nicole said, I knew it! You're one of them! Rutchit said, who do you work for? Stryker said, I don't have to tell you anything, and frankly, none of you are going to make it out alive. So Stryker's time was up. That's when Rutchit and Anne Nicole had Stryker's number, and he knew he was screwed either way. Anne Nicole said, please answer the question. Stryker said, I won't do that, even for you. Maya said, for heaven's sakes, he works for Ricardo, you ignorant Rajetti. Stryker said, shut up, you little brat. You ruined everything. Rutchit looked at Maya in shock. Anne Nicole said, what's wrong, Rutchit? Maya said, you look like you've seen a ghost. Rutchit said, Maya, is that really you? Maya said, yes, you heartless Rajetti. This is payback for killing my brother. Anne Nicole said, what is she talking about? Rutchit said, Maya, your brother killed my Rajetti student. He had to pay for his crimes. Maya said, by being swallowed by a whale shark? Anne Nicole said, wait, Dickie Rocky? I thought he was a myth. Maya said, who are you again? Rutchit said, she's my Rajetti student, Anne Nicole. Maya started laughing. Maya said, are you kidding me? You're still holding on to the past with TriStar. Anne Nicole looked at Rutchit in shock. Anne Nicole said, is this really true? Did you have a Rajetti student before me? Rutchit said, yes. He was my best student. I wanted to be a Rajetti master like my master shaman and train him to be a great warrior like me. But that fateful night, he was in a duel with her brother, Roy, and before he dueled with Roy, I stepped in first to face off with Roy during the battle before my brother, Twinkle, who I didn't know was my twin at the time. Anne Nicole said, wow. Rutchit said, well, Twinkle interfered with the battle, so TriStar stepped in to take my place while me and Twinkle were dueling. That's when Twinkle was shocked at what his brother Rutchit was saying. Anne Nicole said, what happened? Rutchit said, and that is when, during their battle, that Roy tricked TriStar and he was killed by her brother in a Rajetti duel, and I blame myself ever since. Anne Nicole said, it wasn't your fault. There was nothing you could do. Maya said, oh yes, it was. And you knew that your Rajetti master is a complete fake, a great nothing. Nicole said, "Shut up, you little witch. Now go on, Rutchit." Maya said, "Yeah, Rutchit, explain some more." Nicole said, "Really?" Maya said, "Don't encourage the Rutchit. He's such an insecure little boy who didn't even grow up. He wouldn't even be a match for Stryker, Muku, and the others." Rutchit said, "Ooh, Muku, that traitor." Twinkle said, "That's my brother you're talking about." Maya said, "Ooh, the hostility." That's when Twinkle gave Maya that look. Stryker said, "You're a weak, pathetic fool." Nicole said, "Shut your mouth, you inconsiderate douchebag." Maya said, "Watch your tone with him, or I'll teach you some manners." Rico said, "You don't have room to talk about manners." Maya said, "Oh, great. Grandpa is here." Nicole said, "You're really annoying, Maya. Why do you do something really constructive, then call someone old, emo girl?" Maya said, "Oh, I'm so sad and gloomy." "Oh, please. That's what you would think." Rutchit said, "Maya, this doesn't change the fact your brother killed TriStar. But if you want to keep bringing up the past, then here's a question. Why didn't your brother listen to me when I told him that provoking a fight would have gotten him expelled from the Rutchit Temple?" Maya said, "Because me and my brother Roy worked for Ricardo." Rutchit said, "I'm not surprised." Maya said, "I'll take out your new student for killing my brother." Nicole said, "Never happening." Maya said, "Why? Are you going to take me out?" Nicole said, "Maybe I will." Maya said, "Bring it then." So Nicole and Maya started to duel when Rutchit pulled Nicole to the side. Rutchit said, "Back off." Maya said, "Make me scumbag." Rutchit said, "Please, Anne, don't do it." Nicole looked at Rutchit and saw his concern. Nicole said, "Why? Do you think I would make a big mistake like TriStar?" "Well, you don't have to worry about me. I'll be fine." Rico said, "Rutchit, I understand your hurt of losing TriStar, but you must let her do this." Rutchit said, "What if she gets hurt, Rico?" Nicole said, "Do you have faith in me to win this in the end?" Rutchit said, "Yes, but..." Nicole said, "No buts. I got this." So Nicole and Maya charged at each other, and Rutchit and Rico watched the madness. Stryker looked at Rico. Stryker said, "Why, little boy? What's with your grandpa over there? Is he really ancient?" Rutchit said, "Watch it, Stryker, you crazy psychopath." Stryker said, "No one calls me a psycho and lives." That's when Stryker blasted at Rutchit with his Rutchit blast, but Rutchit blasted at Stryker too. Rico said, "Rutchit, no!" Rutchit said, "Don't worry about me, I'll be fine." Twinkle said, "Oh no." Meanwhile, Master Shaman, Eve, and Gorge were heading to Stryker's castle to help the other after Rico took Rutchit's Rutchit jet. Meanwhile, Sydney and Sasquatch were trying to figure out how to get out of the dungeon. Sasquatch said, "Sydney, is there a way for you to get out of this dungeon?" Sydney said, "I have no clue. There is a bunch of walls around me besides a barred up area, and that is too high for me to get to." Sasquatch looked around and he wondered if there was a spot in the wall. That's when he spotted something that looked dusty, and he saw a vent that was too small for him. Sasquatch said, "Hey, Sydney, I have a question for you." Sydney said, "What is it?" Sasquatch said, "Hey, Sydney, do you spot a vent nearby you?" Sydney said, "No, why? All I see is a bunch of dirty walls all around me. What am I looking for?" Sasquatch said, "Just look around the room. There should be a vent, and you're the only one that can fit." That's when Sydney looked, and she looked, and she looked. Sydney said, "I can't see it." Sasquatch said, "Just keep looking." That's when Sydney was about to give up hope, when she noticed there was a noise coming from the wall. Sasquatch said, "Just keep looking." Sydney said, "Sasquatch, keep talking. The more you talk, the more I know where the vent is." That's when Sydney finally saw that there was dust covering the vent. Sydney said, "I found it. It was below me the whole time." Sasquatch said, "Good job. Now follow my voice to where my vent is at." Sydney said, "Okay, will do." Sydney went into the vent, and she got to the fork in the vent. Get it? Instead of a road, it's a vent. "Okay, cut the rider some slack." So Sydney saw two different vents, one going to the left and to the right. Sydney said, "Sasquatch, there are two different vents, one going to the left and one to the right." Sasquatch said, "Do you hear my voice?" Sydney said, "Yeah, you're coming from the right. I'm heading in that direction. Where are you now?" Sasquatch said, "Can you hear me now?" Sydney said, "Yeah, you're coming from the left now. Heading in your direction." Sydney said, "Good, you're getting warmer now." Sydney said, "Ha, I see what you did there. Good one." Meanwhile, Rutchit looked back at his brother while holding on for dear life. That's when Master Shaman, Eve, and Gorge saw a castle. Master Shaman said, "Computer, land us on Stryker's land." So the Rutchit ship landed them next to Stryker's castle. Gorge said, "Thank goodness we showed up." Ezekiel said, "Your friends in the dungeon might need this. Here." That's when Ezekiel fell into Gorge's hands. Master Shimon said, "What happened to you?" Eve said, "A Mulan villager from Mula?" Master Shimon said, "The planet that was destroyed long ago?" Ezekiel said, "Yes, but our king died long ago inside that castle." Eve said, "Oh, this is terrible. Who did this?" Ezekiel said, "Stryker himself." Gorge said, "So, Ricardo had something to do with your capture." Ezekiel said, "Yeah." That's when Gorge, Eve, and Shaman started to see Ezekiel's health failing. Eve said, "What's happening to him?" Master Shaman said, "I think he's dying." Ezekiel said, "Don't worry about me. My spirit will live on within the universe and the stars above." That's when Ezekiel breathed his last and died. That's when Ezekiel's body started to sparkle into a light and went to the heavens, to the universe above. This made Eve cry on Shaman's shoulder, and Shaman started to cry too. But then Eve started to get furious. Eve said, "That's it. Stryker will pay for this." Master Shaman said, "Eve, we need to help the other two that were captured in the dungeons." That's when Master Shaman noticed a barred up window. Master Shaman said, "Is that what I think it is?" Eve said, "It has to be. City and Sasquatch?" That's when Master Shaman knew that he and Eve had to help them out. End of chapter. If you enjoyed this video, do yourself a favor and click the like button, leave a comment below the screen, please subscribe to this channel as Rutchit Warriors is here to stay. And please click the notification bell for new content coming to this channel. Please support the cause at patreon.com/Rutchit Warriors by Rutchit Films. And until Chapter 8, Rutchit vs. Stryker the Quack, the final battle. Until then, peace!